So in last session we studied and the forms of the organization. So in this session we will study about the types of the organization. So every organization differs in their structure. So because every organization having a different size, a nature of the product is different from one organization to another. So every organization were built for some purpose. So purpose differs from one organization to another. The complexity of the problems involved in each organization will differ, having a variety of the problem. Some organization is having involved in the solving more complex problems than another organization. So in that case, we have to apply our knowledge, intellect, and decide which type of the organization is best suited to use. So first case, the first type of the organization is the line or the military or the scalar organization. It is a convent, uh, it is a ancient time organization derived from the military where it is the simplest form of the organization. It more resembles to the military, just like we can see in the figure. So it is called also as a military organization. So we can see in the figure it is a production manager handling three foremans. So under every foreman there is only one supervisor worker. So foreman A handling one worker, foreman B handling another worker, foreman C handling another worker, and each worker handling four helpers. So every helper, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4 in the group A are responsible to answerable to the worker under the foreman A, and the worker under foreman A only responsible to answer to foreman A, and foreman A will answerable to the production manager. So this is the line type organization. So subordinate person here is the helper or the worker or the foreman to the production manager. So will report to the next higher level and goes on just like we seen earlier. So direct and people know whom they are accountable for. So helper in group A, every helper is accountable for the workers under the foreman A, and the worker under foreman A is accountable to the foreman A. So it is a direct flow. So it is having a clarity that how much they are responsible and for what they are accountable, and easy to understand. So outside of the organization and inside of the organization it is easy to understand. It is flexible. They can add the peoples, they can add the task allotted to the each helper or the worker, and it can also easy to expand and the contract or to reduce the size of the organization, or to increase the size of the organization. It is a quite simple. So every employee having clear division of the authority, so either in number of levels or the number of divisions. So it is a clear channel of the communication without confusion. So production order gives out order to foreman A. Foreman A gives only order to the workers under foreman A. The worker under foreman A will give out the order to the next helper. So it is a clear channel of communication without confusion. Strong in discipline as it fixes responsibility to individual. So every worker or the every helper in group A only accountable to the worker under foreman A, and it fixes their responsibility to accomplish the task, to finish the task effectively. So they obviously neglects the specialist because responsibility is strictly fixed. So they neglect the specialist and the suggestion from any outside specialist person. So they overloads a few executives. Suppose here in production A, production manager, production manager A is overloaded to handle the queries from the 3 4 months, or if the size of the organization increase, he is become overloaded. The dictatorial way of working. So we can say that the military way of handling the organization is the dictatorial way of working. So top management, production manager giving out order, and all the foremen have to follow them strictly. So examples, this type of organization is best suited to automatic and continuous process industries such as paper factories, sugar factories, textile factories. So they are semi-automated or the automated and having the continuous process. Next type of the organization is the functional organization. So it is a suggested by the F.W. Taylor, as we discussed in the first chart. It is a major contributor in the school of the management theories. So he suggested the functional organization. So it is a simpler to the line organization, but difference is that instead of one foreman, there are 8 foremen. For example, we are here considering the digit 8. So they mix use of the specialized persons, the specialized department, to give expert advice to workers. So role and responsibility of the specialized person, just like for example, research and development section, R&D department, give out the expert advice to the workers or the department. So this type of organization reduces the number of the accidents and the wastage of material, man, machine hours, etc. As they are getting the time to time the advices, time to time expert suggestions from the specialist persons, and they are in the discussion with the persons time to time. So comparing to the line organization, the coordination is difficult. As we seen in the line organization, the order is given from the manager to directly to the foreman or worker or the helper. So here comparing to the line organization, coordination is difficult. There is a conflict of power. So here difficult to fix up the responsibility. For example, to any one foreman, if some goes wrong, there is difficulty to assign the responsibility to foreman, that who and whom, that which foreman is responsible for that action. Workers are in confusion about the authority and activity of each foreman. That suppose here we considered 8 foremen working, so workers will be in chaos to whom they are accountable, to whom they should raise a query or etc. So they are in a confusion. So it makes a industrial relations complex. There is no opportunity for workers for their initiative and the drive. Here is an chart, example chart of the functional organization. A CEO handling the 3 departments, for example, here we considered 3 departments. One is the human resource head, finance department head, and sales department head. So first one, the HR head will give out order to the HR executive, and the HR executive issue the order to the payroll admin. The payroll admin will give out the work order to the recruitment executive to recruit any person, etc. So one task is depicted here only for the HR department, and all 3 departments are mutually interconnected. The HR head, finance head, and sales head, they are taking the meetings, they are communicating with each other regarding the function of the organization or the activities in the organization. Next type of the organization is the line and staff organization. So it is a combination of the line organization and staff organization. Here we are skipping the part of the staff organization. S- The line executives retain supervisory authority and control work of their subordinates. Staff executives relieve line executives of certain specialized work and advise them on matters referred to them. For example, R&D specialist, the staff executives will work for the specialist tasks, and the line executives or the employees in the line organization are responsible to carry out the production work or the manufacturing activities. And for example, research and development section, person from R&D department will interact to line executives and suggest them to about the works and the other things to improve the work. To accept or the reject decision of the staff executive remains to line executive, as this type of the organization where the production is carried out by the line executives and employees involved in the line organization. So either to accept or the reject the suggestion or the decision given by the staff executive is up to the line executive. So expert advice from the specialist used sometimes. So by using the expert advice, there is a less wastage of the man, machine, material, etc. Line executives relieved of some load and can devote to the production task only, so they can get the more profits by selling into the market for what purpose the organization existed. The quality of the product will get improved by getting the time to time suggestions and improving them. No confusion like in the functional department. So process advantages of both line and functional organization are the organic evolution. So this type of the organization possesses the advantages of both line and functional organization. So we can consider this as a organic evolution. Here organic means organizational evolution. The product costs increased just because of we are including the specialist persons, though their salaries we have to pay. So high salary of the staff executives because they are working under various tasks, entire new things from time to time, so they are highly paid. So obviously the cost incurred to them are distributed on all products produced by the enterprise equally, so the product cost will get increased. So it leads to confusion if their responsibility is unclear. So to avoid the confusion, we have to assign the roles and regulations and responsibilities clearly and on document. So obviously there comes the friction and jealousies. So by the friction and jealousies, they are causing the delays in the work. They are becoming the blocks to the work or becoming blocks to the production. They will try to slower the decision making process, and at the end the efficiency of the organization will get reduced. So to avoid these things we have to fix the responsibilities. For example, medium and large enterprise uses this type of organization. Almost 80 to 90% enterprises uses this type of the organization, as this organization possess the advantages of both line and functional organization. So this is the organization chart for the line and staff organization. Board of directors who built or who are the owners of the enterprise. Next, their managing director is answerable to the board of directors, whatever the activity is happening in the enterprise. So, managerial director MD is constantly in communication with the financial advisor, the human resource manager, the legal advisor, the assistant to MD. And under the MD, the managing director, the various departments are working, or the sections or the divisions. Here we considered three divisions: the manager division A, B, and C. So whatever the activities in the division A, or consider that the production, the manufacturing department. So manager of the production is answerable to the managing director. Suppose there is a queries, there is a problem in the production, then he will try to communicate with the MD. MD will get the suggestions from the available resources, and they will try to solve and communicate the solution to the manager. Next type of the organization is the committee organization. So it is the formal body with the definite structure. So the committee organization is managed by a senior member of the committee. So it is having the very little practical importance. So, according to Hicks, a committee is a group of peoples who meet by plan to discuss or to make a decision for a particular subject, or the particular problem or a complex problem is difficult to solve. So, they are come together with the plan and discuss uh, according to their expertise, give out the suggestions, again discuss and finding the best solution to implement within the organization for incurred complex problem. So here are various types of the committees. So first one is the line committee. Line committee wherein the authority and the responsibility to decide and whose decision are implemented. Staff committee is to counsel and to advise about the solution. The formal committee, the formal committee having the clear cut jurisdiction, and the formal committee is formed by the part of the organization structure. The members are the part of the organization structure, they come together and form an formal committee. So they are having the jurisdiction to giving out the orders. The informal committee is to just only advise for certain complicated matters, so it does not form of the organization structure. They can be from other. Coordinating committee is to coordinate the functioning of different departments. They come together to maintain a smooth flow of the run of the enterprise by coordinating with each other. So executive committee is to administer the affairs of the business. Standing committee is to, it is of a permanent character. Ad hoc committee are the temporary bodies. They are appointed. The committees are formed to deal with some special problem, and as soon as the problem gets solved, they will cease to function. So the key points in the types of the organization: that effective method of bringing the collective knowledge and expertise to solve complex problem. So they offer the scope for group deliberations and group judgment. The people from various expertise, from various backgrounds, from various knowledges come together and giving out the solutions. So it brings the coordination within the persons of the organization. So the types of the organizations will promote the organizational cohesiveness. So slowness seriously handicaps the administration of the organization as they are working together and involved in the other tasks. So some kind of the slowness will appear and it handicaps for a moment or for a period of time the administration of the organization. The committees are an expensive devices both in terms of the cost and time. As to provide the solution for the complex problem, there must be an investment of the time also, and expenses or the remunerations paid for the time they are allotted or the knowledge they invested. The organization has to pay some cost. So findings represent a compromise of different viewpoints. So a committee having a group of members giving out the solution from different perspectives. From suppose three members of some committee, one from purchase department, one from production, one from sales, one from R&D, having the different perspectives, different targets, different objectives, and they come together giving out solution in the benefit of their own department. So there must be a compromise of the solution. So they may be found to be weak and indecisive sometimes. So number of members of committee can be individually held responsible for the wrong decision. Either they are for held responsible for the wrong decision or not. So the answer is no, because we are not fixing the responsibility. We are just coming together and finding the solution for the incurred complex problem. So it is difficult to maintain secrecy where different individuals are coming together and there are many members working in the committee.